Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's Hollywood on the Rocks. Two big trailers dropped. Spider-Man Brand New Day, Dune Part 3. Lots of news, including an Oscars rating drop. That's crazy. Who could have predicted that? Let's get Alan here to talk about all of it.
Treasure these moments.
That's not the video that I wanted to play, actually.
Alan!
Oh my God, the Oscar is dropped.
Oh, I got so much. Okay. I have a lot to say about that. Before we get into that, I'm going to say hi to everybody in a moment, but I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm not, to be clear, I am not hungover. I am merely tired.
Wow.
I'm just tired because my people. See, someone asked me, aren't you Polish? Yes. Polish, Irish, German, English, and Russian. That's my lineage. I'm like, Europe had an orgy.
Yeah.
So
you're like the worst of the West.
Yeah, I'm like the worst of all the European nations. Well, I am all the ones that have a sense of humor about themselves. But here I was last night over my sharing screen here. My favorite hangouts in Pasadena, the 35er, where I was greeted by this. And I yell out, Atreides! Atreides!
I thought it was you for a second there.
Atreides! Atreides! It was great. Very fun to celebrate. Here. Look at that. Everyone in green. Everyone culturally appropriating. There's another video here. There we go. Everyone culturally appropriating. And you know what? I don't care. Culturally appropriate all you want. So that was fun. So yeah, I was hanging out in Pasadena with a lot of people wearing green. I don't know what it is. No one cares about cultural appropriation. I saw a lot of Asians and black people dressed in green. And you know what? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. It's fine. No one cares.
Well, they didn't want to get pinched. That's all. But somehow that's how you guys like to celebrate. Yesterday, I think I've just resolved I'm never going to buy corned beef from Sam's Club ever again.
What happened?
I don't know. It's just I feel like I can make it better. It just wasn't as I don't know. This year's batch just wasn't that great.
Well, I'll say I've been going down a rabbit hole of like how food is all bad, like the food quality. All the restaurants get their food, which basically their fancy TV dinners they heat up from two main sources. Are 90% of restaurants do that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we've just resolved to make it at home. I mean, I'm going to farmers markets now to buy better food.
Well, yeah, I just buy fresh stuff that's fresh. Even that is compromised.
Yeah.
So don't go down this rabbit hole. Very depressing. But my friend of mine who works in the games industry, whenever he travels like overseas, he loses weight. And when he comes back, he gains it right away. And he eats the same thing. His diet is the same. But, you know, our food, I feel like our food is compromised.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of documentaries on our website talking about how our food is compromised.
Yeah,
which is why I mean, I never thought I would go organic, but I'm going organic.
Yeah. Hey, let's see who's here before we get started with our first news story.
All right, here we go. Men Cave Solid. Chris may be hungover. Everyone brace themselves. Have something to grab onto nearby.
Make sure it's someone where you have permission.
By the way, if this is how you are after not doing the nooner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was no nooner today. Gary's traveling.
Yeah.
He's going to MegaCon.
Christopher Moonlight Productions, who would have had an article up today if he had sent me a thumbnail for it. Anyways, all right. It's time for Film Threat and my drive home. Hope you are enjoying Open Letters. I have big plans for the spring. Yeah. So your article will appear tomorrow.
Great. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you.
Tim is not funny. Some people ascribing the drop to Conan, but I don't think that's it. No, it's not. It wasn't Conan.
It's the movies.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. I'll tell you what I think when we get to it. Thank you.
Okay. Hola, Liu Kui. Hello, Chris, from your fellow Michigander. Hail the men of Film Threat. And remember, no Allens in the movies.
Okay. Well, thank you. Fellow Michigander. Hell yeah, Oli.
That Cuban redneck for $4.99. Maybe your friend is way more active when he travels than here. Same amount of calories, way more walking.
Well, true. I've heard that theory, but it's worth noticing. A lot of people experience that. Thank you, that Cuban redneck. I hope you have power if you're in Cuba. So, and from Lord Thoth.
Yes, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, or Rumble and Instagram, and buy our merch at shop.filmthread.com.
That's right. Award This merch is still up. We're probably going to move to our summer collection because we're having a heat wave in California right now. It was 95, 96 degrees in Pasadena yesterday. So, yikes. Yeah, that was something. But we'll get through it. And we also have our Project Film Threat shirts. I love it. Doomsday Duds. So support and go to shop.filmthreat.com. All right. Let's get to news. And there's a lot of it. Oscar ratings are down again. Let me get to this. And it is remarkable. I have several stories related to this, and let's get to it here. Alan, you've got the ratings. What was
I don't have the ratings. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
I thought there'd be an article, but there's not.
Bring it up, but let's get the historical perspective first. Here we go. Starting in, well, this is a good year to start. 1996. What were the Oscar ratings? 45 million in 96. 2006, 10 years later, 36 million. 2016, 10 years later, 34. It kind of held solid. In 2026, 17 million. I mean, this guy says, Nick Cale, it's over for these networks. TV only exists anymore for live sports. That's true. It's the only thing, frankly, that I watch on live TV is sports. Baseball game, football game, whatever. I've got the variety story here that gets into it. I'll share it here, Alan. We'll get the gist of it. 98th annual Oscar rating hit 17.9 million viewers, down 9% from last year and lowest since 2022. Still the number one primetime entertainment telecast of the 2025-26 season, doubled the Golden Globes viewership, 8.6 million. Social impressions jumped 42% to 184 million. Social impressions, that's not a good metric. A lot of people were talking about how they weren't going to watch the Oscars.
Yeah.
We have a story from Variety. I can bring it up. Basically repeats what we just discussed, but it's worth noting. Alan, what do you think the reasons are for this? And then I'll tell you mine.
Okay. Well, they mentioned 1996 as 54 million or something like that.
45 million.
45 million. Do you remember what the Best Picture nominees were in 1996?
I don't.
Here we go. Sense and Sensibility, Il Postino, Babe, Apollo 13, and Braveheart.
oh, these are all good movies that
Yeah.
most people saw.
Yeah. I mean, Braveheart and Apollo 13.
Yeah.
I mean, most people saw both of those movies. Those are spectacle movies.
Yeah.
People saw it multiple times. Braveheart, I mean, people still talk about it today. And this year, the two were basically Sinners and One Battle After Another. Look, we experienced it on this very channel. This channel rises and falls in views based on the quality of movies out there. That's just something we cannot deny. And it is not Conan's fault. It is Hollywood's fault that the ratings are down.
And it's here's what I think part of it is. They used to nominate popular movies.
Mm-hmm.
A movie was popular at the box office, so that means a lot of people saw it. Say, for example, Dances with Wolves by Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
It was also got acclaim from critics and people in the industry, from the crafts, etc. Like, they were popular with the public and the industry. Now, the Oscars only nominate movies that the industry likes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like they're making movies for people in the industry, not for mainstream audiences, which what I think One Battle After Another is. It's really something, Paul Thomas Anderson made that movie for the industry, but not for a general audience to enjoy. I mean,
well, who nominates and votes in the Academy Awards? It's the industry.
Exactly. So you look at these movies, when you look at them, they're making movies for themselves. They are the audience, not general audiences or popular movies. And those are fewer and far between at this stage. So it's just not to mention, like, there's that. So I think it's death by 1,000 cuts, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing. The other thing is the relevance of celebrities is over. The age of celebrity is over.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, and the fact that, like, even like thing with the non-controversy of Timothy Chalamet pointing out, rightly so, that ballet and opera are not as relevant as they once were, and that could happen to the movies. He made a very important point. It's not original.
Yeah.
Other people have pointed this out.
It was a matter of fact.
He's pointing it out, and then even kind of mocked him in the. It was so embarrassing. I really thought it was horrible. But there's that. There's the political speeches that really turn people off. People get turned off by these speeches. Okay, not a surprise. So I don't know. Any final thoughts on this? Because we're seeing something that used to be thought of as literally, I mean, they would call it the gay Super Bowl, right? It's the biggest award show. It's the fashion, it's film, it's culture, its relevance is now just, it's becoming, it doesn't matter. It doesn't move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
And if movies are going to have an impact, which they have had in the past, they're certainly not doing it now. I'm not surprised by any of this.
Yeah. Well, let's look at next year. So Project Hail Mary will probably do very well. And Dune Part 3. What am I missing?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that those popular movies will actually get nominations.
Well, I don't think they will be popular movies, so to speak. I don't think Project Hail Mary is an Apollo 13. I
think it'll be I think it's going to do very well. We'll talk about it on Friday.
Yeah. And part of it is I think people will be desperate to see good movies. And
let me show you what happens after the Oscars. This is literally hours after the Oscars ended. the red carpet is thrown in the trash in a back alley dumpster, and this woman found it. I'm gonna play the video for you. You gotta see this.
The Oscars were last night, and I'm still looking for a rug. So let's go see if he'll give me some of the red carpet.
This was around the corner. I know where this is. So they're putting everything away after the event.
Carpet is gone. It's only 8:30. I knew I should have come down at 5 a.m. I'm gonna go see if it's around the back of the trash. I was here for an event after the Oscars like 10 years ago, and they were taking the carpet down at 5 a.m. And so I know that's when they do it, but someone told me the other day that they had events going on after the Oscars they had to leave it up for. Liars. Okay, so I found
it's in the trash. There's all the red carpet from the Oscars, and she's gonna grab a piece.
Dumpster diving.
She takes it back to her apartment, tries to fit it.
A big knife.
Oh my god!
Is it insane to take a huge
This is
piece?
hilarious.
Okay, well, this is the smallest piece that I can get, and it's freaking huge.
And by the way, to be fair, they trash carpet from conventions like WonderCon, San Diego Comic-Con. So, to be fair,
Okay, let's open it up because I actually didn't check the quality or the size or the shape.
Okay, here she is putting it in her apartment. I guess she lives close enough to walk. But there you go. It's barely used.
Like, I bet she finds an Oscar in there.
Oh, a bonus!
You could use that as a runner or put it in your bathroom.
Once we cut it to shape. This is perfect. Okay, I've just vacuumed it because it has like the little backing.
Oh my god!
Because it's all rolled up. It's in great shape.
All right.
My boyfriend thinks we should leave it this odd shape. I think we should cut it to a rectangle.
Well, there you go, Alan.
I know.
That's what happens. That's what
could have given all that carpet to the homeless that were just outside.
Yeah. But one thing I want to talk about real briefly. We mentioned like Timothée Chalamet. So at the Oscars, he gets insulted in the open. They spent the whole ceremony poking fun. They joked about him. The crowd cheered. Winners mocked him in the speeches. The Sinner's song did ballet in front of him, and they made a mold of Timothée Chalamet's butt. Here it is, to kind of mock him. All this to protect art while publicly bashing an artist for sharing his opinions. This is from Marvel Mania. I got a lot of respect for him. I'm not surprised the ratings are down. I think that was a non-controversy with Timothée Chalamet. So, because the point is movies are going to become less relevant culturally. And, it's worthy of discussion. Another thing to point out, Disney's domination of the Oscars is officially over with Bob Iger stepping down. I have the story here, Alan. I'll bring it up. Bob Iger's last day was yesterday.
Oh,
I know you're very sad about it, but let's put this story up. I think you have it. It's from Screen Rant here.
Yeah, and you gotta get rid of that.
Get rid of these ads. Disney's domination of the Oscars is officially over. I mean, I kind of feel like their nominations for like Elio and whatnot, that was just token. Like, well, we need to fill out enough people in that category, so we'll give it to Elio. What's in the story, Alan?
All right. Well, Disney's domination of the Oscars is officially over. Sony and Netflix K-pop Demon Hunters won the 2026 Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, ending a long era of dominance by Disney Animation and Pixar. Since the category was introduced in 2001, Disney quickly established itself as the defining powerhouse of animated filmmaking for the Oscars. Through both Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios, the company produced a steady stream of critically acclaimed and commercially successful films that frequently took home the award. Pixar classics like Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Ratatouille became the benchmark of storytelling, and Disney Animation delivered its own Oscar-winning hits such as Frozen, Zootopia, and Big Hero 6. For nearly 2 decades, it was common for Disney or Pixar to win the category in every few years, cementing the studio's reputation as the gold standard in mainstream animation. However, since Disney's last win with Encanto came in 2022, the studio has gone 4 consecutive years without taking home the Oscar, marking the longest losing streak it has ever experienced in the category. During the stretch, Best Animated Feature race was dominated by filmmakers outside of Disney's umbrella. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio won in 2026. Hayao Miyazaki's Studio Ghibli, The Boy and the Heron in 2024. And the Latvian film Flow of 2025, and then anchored by 2026's victory for K-pop Demon Hunter. It continues the trend and highlights how animation landscape has broadened beyond Disney's long-standing influence. Its success reflects a growing appetite for fresh styles, international voices, and unconventional storytelling in animation.
Yeah, I just feel like, Pixar has lost its touch.
Disney
has for sure. So
I should write a 4-part article about this.
You could write an update. And something worth mentioning, Bob Iger is out. He's out. Alan, here's a quick story. It's just worth mentioning because this relates, but Disney CEO changeover. Josh D'Amaro says Disney Plus will be digital centerpiece for growth as Bob Iger delivers farewell address. It has meant more to me than I can say. But they say he was more like a portfolio manager than a creative driving force. How do you, we've talked about Iger quite a bit. What do you think? What I feel like that's the assessment, this article. Yeah. He was like a manager of a portfolio, like investments. Like, I'm going to buy Marvel. I'm going to buy Star Wars. But was he creative? No, because every creative decision he made turned out to be bad decisions. What's your evaluation?
Yeah, I think about when Bob Iger first came on, Disney was in turmoil. Michael Eisner and crew had, they saved Disney, Eisner and gang.
Yeah.
But the problem is at the end of Eisner's reign, he was more about protecting his stock values than he was about growing a company. To the point where Roy Disney Jr., they fired him off the board. And I remember Roy was very active after being fired. He was very active about taking control back over Disney, and there was a lot of wrangling going on. And I think they finally agreed, okay, Bob Iger was the guy. And right out of the gate, he did some really good things, things that on paper looked perfect. One was they bought Pixar. I think that was a big deal, and it needed to be done. They bought Marvel. They bought Marvel at a time, and so they were, so there was all this excitement about, all these purchases Disney was making. All these purchases seemed to make sense. Yeah. And then you realize that the guy at the top didn't know what he was doing.
Well, he was not. First of all, the choice to acquire Marvel and Star Wars, very smart.
Yeah.
But every decision after they were, and Marvel held firm for a long time before they started the Disney influence crept in, whether it be casting decisions or choices of material. It
was complicated. They had to get the rights back from Paramount. Right. Paramount was Marvel Studios at the time. But the problem is that, okay, a CEO doesn't necessarily need to be creative. They need to run a business. They need to understand what it takes to grow a business, to have a vision for the business growing forward. And what do? You hire people who can do that, who can take Marvel, who can take Star Wars and grow it. And he failed miserably. He chose the wrong people, and he continues to choose the wrong people now.
And he, in effect, destroyed and reduced the value of both properties.
Yeah.
And when you look at his creative decisions, not involving George in the sequel trilogy,
Mhm.
choosing to feature the new Star Wars sequel trilogy characters in Star Wars Land.
Mhm.
That was a misfire. That $1 billion hotel with the Star Wars hotel,
Yeah.
that was a bomb that closed. These were his creative decisions. So make of that what you will.
Mhm.
More of a portfolio manager than a creative.
Yeah. I mean, he essentially did what Eisner did, and it just continued. I need to protect these stock values. And so the thing that bugs me the most about Bob Iger is, he forgot the people who got him there, and those were the fans. Disney had a rabid fan base, and by raising prices, by not putting the fan first, because that's what Eisner did. There was a recognition that these Disney adults and that these families with kids, these are the people who are going to grow your company, and you need to make products that appeal to them. And all it was, hey, we got this stuff, let's just move it forward, I'll hire these people, not knowing. Again, I think my point here is there's this disconnection that Disney has with its fan base. And again, I have not stepped foot in Disneyland since the pandemic, because what's there? Avengers Campus? Oh, okay, thanks.
Neither have I. 2019 was the last time I
Me
went
too.
to Disneyland.
Me too.
So, hey, one more quick news story before we get to our trailers. We'll start with Spider-Man. This popped up just hours before we went live. An AI version of Val Kilmer is set to star in a new movie. This is from Variety. I've got like the notes for this. I threw this in last minute, Alan, so bear with me. But this is a first look at Val Kilmer. He's being resurrected via AI to star in a new movie called As Deep as the Grave. Kilmer was cast in the movie in 2020, 5 years before his death, but he was too sick with throat cancer, battling throat cancer to ever make it to set. So an AR version of the actor is appearing in the film with Val Kilmer's the full blessing of his daughter, Mercedes. And her quote is, "He always looked at emerging technologies with optimism as a tool to expand the possibilities of storytelling. This spirit is something that we are all honoring within this specific film, of which he was an integral part." And the writer-director, Porty Voorhees, says, "He was the actor I wanted to play this role. It was very much designed around him. It drew on his Native American heritage and his ties to and love of the Southwest. His family kept saying how important they thought the movie was, and that Val really wanted to be a part of this. He really thought it was an important story that he wanted his name on. It was that support that gave me the confidence to say, okay, let's do it. Despite the fact that some people might call it controversial, this is what Val wanted." That's quotes from the story. How are you comfortable with Val Kilmer starring in a new film? I mean, with his daughter's blessing, and apparently he wanted to make the movie in 2020. What do you think about this, Alan? We talk about AI all the time, but this is a very popular actor who has since passed away. The plan was for him to be in it. So you can see some of the reasons for but how do you, I don't know how I feel going to see this movie. Val Kilmer has passed away, and I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
It's too recent. It's not like John Wayne in a movie. Okay, that's kind of clever. Or maybe James Dean. What do you think about this?
Yeah. Good thing I'm a film critic, because this is the only way I'm going to see this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would shell out money. I've mentioned this before, but
same.
It will always be a fake Val Kilmer. Doesn't matter if the daughter is behind it and supporting it. It'll be fake Val Kilmer, even if it's close, even if it's the exact replication of Val Kilmer, his mannerisms, all this stuff. It will still always be fake Val Kilmer.
Well, there's always something real quick. I'm sorry, Alan.
Yeah.
I interrupt you. You got thoughts, and I interrupt. But but it's always eerie when you see a film where you know someone died in the making of the movie or before. Like seeing The Dark Knight, there was a weight on that movie because of because Heath Ledger passed away.
Yeah. Well, let me throw another one out.
Right.
How about Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia in The Last Jedi?
Yes, yes, and also like all these movies were an actor. The Crow, Brendan Lee, like when an actor passes
Brendan
away,
Lee didn't have any lines.
But what I mean is that an actor's passed away. You see the movie with the thought in your head, they are no longer with us to receive the adulation. This is, and also this isn't Val Kilmer. It's a stand-in actor with face replacement, and there have been like in the Gladiator movie, what's his name? Chat, help me out, chat. It was Oliver something. I'll get it. I'll think of it. Gladiator. When actors pass away, it's eerie. This is intentional. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not
I know
sure.
exactly how I feel about this.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Like you, I probably wouldn't go see this movie except, well, we will tell you what we think after we see it.
Yeah.
And you're going to see this trend happening more and more.
Yeah. I mean, okay, congratulations. The first. You're the first. We'll see how it goes.
Let's go to your comments, then we'll get to some trailers. Starting here.
Yes. Well, Albert, not a retro.
Let's save it.
Okay. Aaron Charman. Most of the winners now are political choices. Plus, the movies come out recently aren't great. I think it's always been that way. It's always the art films that the Oscars love. Uncle Remus, the Oscar-nominated movies for 2025 was garbage.
Yeah, I agree.
Razor Hammond for 199. You guys are the only reason I enjoy movies anymore.
Oh, well, thanks for saying so.
Yeah, the Introspect M. Celebrity will never be over, but Hollywood film celebrity is.
That's true.
Makoto. Social media killed the movie star. Geek True 64. Bob's legacy is of acquisition without stewardship of those acquisitions. Exactly. Jamie Wonder. Remember when Bob Iger and several other CEOs retired a couple of weeks before COVID? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that was suspicious. You think they had a heads up?
Ron Enriquez. Or is it Ron H. Enriquez? Val Kilmer was working with a company to give him an AI voice when he was still alive, but this is kind of extreme.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about this.
Yeah, I know Roger Ebert tried that as well when he lost the ability to speak. 20 Petunia for 2. Hi. What is the weirdest movie you have ever seen?
Well, I could probably name 25 movies. One I saw recently that I recommend, and we had the director on to discuss it, was Obex.
Mm-hmm.
OBEX. It's just out and really worth seeing. The filmmaker, it's so unusual, so I really recommend that movie. What is the weirdest I've seen recently? And I would say Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, also very good.
Yeah, even Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is weird.
Yeah.
There's also the what is it? Phil Tippett, didn't he make a very long stop motion animation movie? I thought that was kind of weird. It's pretty cool. The
name of that movie is called Mad God.
That's right.
Mad God, which I own on Blu-ray. Thank you, 20 Petunia 7. I'm going to save your comment, Albert, because we're going to look at the Spider-Man trailer. But let's look at that right now. Spider-Man is back, and it's a brand new day. That's what they're going with. Here's our. Let's take a look. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Alan.
I have not. I was waiting for this.
Good. Well, I did see it. I have thoughts.
Okay.
I'll bring it up on screen here. We're going to get hit because it's Sony. Well, let's take a look at this trailer. I think full screen here. Let's go. Just a moment.
Yeah, put it on the screen.
I will do that because I want you to see it. Here we go. Let's watch it together.
I can't believe our first hit MIT. MJ, come on. Pretend like you're not the happiest you've ever been in your entire life.
I can't.
I knew it.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me. Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
The hell, Frank? You just hit me with a van!
Quit your whimpering. Suit yourself. Mother.
Go home! And sometimes Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart. What is happening to me?
Oh, God.
Excuse me, Dr. Banner. I need your help.
What did you say your name was? If DNA is mutating, it would be enormously dangerous.
Spiders have 3 life cycles. When between cycles, it can leave the spider vulnerable to threats.
We are faced with a danger that we can't control. One we can't even see. Stay out of my way.
You're losing it, kid.
Oh, man.
And for those spiders who make it through, it amounts to a kind of rebirth.
Nice flowers.
Oh, they're a housewarming gift.
I'm MJ,
I'm just a neighbor from across the hall.
friendly neighbor.
Okay, you know what? It looks fun.
Yeah.
Not sure about the design of Scorpion. That you see?
Well, man, it's a pre-design, I hope. You know,
Maybe.
it's like I'm testing this out. I have to build the costume around the final model.
Yes, I don't know. And then Punisher, we're gonna get like a PG Punisher
Yeah.
in this. I wish Mark Ruffalo was not in this movie. Everything, his public persona is so negative. It just, I guess, well, we'll see. Hulk is gonna be in there, but and the other thing is MJ and Ned, which I've always actually liked the idea of the character Ned. I'm the man in the chair. I like Ned, but can't you wipe the slate clean? Can he just not be a stalker? Now he's gonna reignite that relationship with his friend and girlfriend somehow.
Well, I mean, look, that could be a compelling love story if that's what this movie was about. I feel like it's not about that, and so it just feels kind of forced in. Like I said, it really depends on what kind of attention they put to it. Are they doing it for the sake of doing it, or are they doing it because it's a true story element and an emotional storyline for Peter Parker? The other thing is, okay, so he's watching a move of TikTok or whatever video upside down on a beam, but he's just sitting on it with his butt. So does his butt have the sticking powers that spiders have? And then the other thing is, what was Ned posting that whole scene was? Why was
also
that's what you post on social media?
Also, by the way, another dumb thing. Do they still have photos on their phones of their past relationship? Was that also erased along? Was only their memory erased, but there is evidence in the world that they still had a relationship, meaning, wow, I just sort of went through my photos. When I go back, I'm really hanging out with this guy I don't remember.
Well, remember after Civil War,
when magically go away?
Yeah, but after Civil War, when Peter revealed his identity and then Mephisto changed history, I mean, I'm assuming it's one of those, because they could have easily gotten news footage of Peter Parker revealing his identity.
All I'm saying is I was not a big fan of Tom Holland as Spider-Man. The first two movies were just okay. I like the third film with Tobey and Andrew Garfield. Really love the third film. And this, I'm not so sure. I will say it looks better than anything Marvel's put out recently. Seriously.
That's true.
And it's not Marvel, So I don't know. And what's the snarky relationship with Frank Castle? Like, hey, Frank, go home.
Yeah.
Like a little, come on, stop causing chaos.
You know what it is? It's Punisher after years of therapy. That's what it seemed like.
Yes.
Maybe he's not 100% fixed, but he's mostly fixed.
This isn't really Punisher from the Daredevil series, which I guess
it should be
out next week, and we have early access to the screeners. Are you gonna watch it, Alan?
I mean, I probably should. I forgot I had it, so I have to.
Yeah, I just reminded you.
Yeah. Bottom line for me is it feels like there's two stories going on here, and that I'm not sure which one. I feel like you're telling two solid stories, but because you're doing it at the same time, it weakens the one weakens the other, and vice versa. And so we'll see.
Yeah, I guess I want to see sort of where their relationship is. What the I just would have preferred that it's wiped clean.
Yeah,
like you don't even need to, reference, or maybe he meets another girl named Mary Jane, and she has red hair.
Yeah.
Sounds crazy.
Weird.
But I'd love to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, if I would have preferred, if I was writing this myself, would have dumped Ned and MJ until the end. Had him basically deal with the fact that no one remembers him and that he's lost his love. And don't even bring them into the movie until the very end. And then that's your cliffhanger to the second movie or to the next movie.
You should be working on these movies.
Yeah, I should be.
Let's go to some comments related to this.
All right, Albernata Retro for 5. I saw the brand new Day trailer. It's going to be garbage. The Paul Rubin character is all I need to know about. I am out.
Yeah. It's. I think it looks very convoluted, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, which I look back on fondly. There's so much fun stuff in it, but there's too many villains, too many storylines, and by the way, it looks like he gains organic web shooters. I've seen
maybe that was part of the part of the mind wipe. Steve Z for 5. Hopefully one day we get an MJ that's comic accurate. Kristen Dunst and Zendaya have not come close. Are you saying bigger boobs?
I agree. Well, they're not the attitude of MJ.
No. Or the boobs.
Yeah.
Was there?
Sorry, back to Albert.
Yeah, here we go. He has 2. Albert Not a Retro for 10. Peter made the noble sacrifice walking away from Ned and MJ so they would be caught up in his web of danger. Now he's either a pathetic simp or bird dog for chasing MJ again. Yeah, there has to be a payoff to that sacrifice he made.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Like,
I mean,
move on.
Yeah, I mean, the sacrifice should be the sacrifice. He gave up his girl and his best friend for the sake of the universe, and you have to hold to that, at least for the next movie.
Yeah. Couple more here.
We're not a retro for 5. I like Tom as Spider-Man better than Toby. The Sam Raimi films stink. Wow.
Fair. I disagree.
That's a strong statement there.
But you know what? We all have our Batmans, our Spider-Mans, it's all good.
Yeah, I'll say this about Sam Raimi. He's the first person to ever bring a true Spider-Man to the screen.
Yeah.
We're not a retro for 2. Also, Zendaya isn't Mary Jane. She's Marie Jones.
True. So what I'm saying is maybe they get the real Mary Jane. So, all right. So a few more comments here, then we're talking Dune.
Okay. Well, from the Andy Likes Stuff channel, it's Andy. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not the biggest fan of this Spider-Man. 80ls24. Spider-Man will make more money at the box office than Doomsday. You're probably right.
One thing, it'll probably be more profitable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about more money.
That's true. Dark Hierophant. I had Pedro Pascal fatigue, and now I have Zendaya fatigue. I need help.
Well, there
wait to see Dune Part 3.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's in that also.
She's back and she's fierce.
Oh my god. I got fierce fatigue. All right. Hey, Alan, you and I attended a very special event.
Yep.
We saw the Dune Part 3 trailer early. They played it twice. There's a video on this channel with the Q&A with Denis Villeneuve and the cast, including Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, Javier Bardem was there, Anya Taylor-Joy. It was great to see them there. They did a Q&A. The full Q&A is on the channel. So check that out. We were there and saw, if you have not seen this trailer yet, get ready. As a Dune fan, I can tell you I'm excited. Let's watch it together. Anticipated movie of this year. And it's based on, like, Dune Messiah is kind of it's almost like an epilogue for the events of Dune, the first book.
Yeah,
right?
It sounds that from the way they described it, the movie sounds exactly like that.
Yeah, this is sort of and the way when we were there at the event, like Denis Villeneuve described it as like it's more of a thriller, like, you know, intrigue and whatnot. It's not so much an action movie. I do think he's including things from the jihad, events from the jihad, which are really not in that book. It's more the outcome of those events, that it happens between the books effectively. And really, and this, I may get into some spoilery stuff and some speculation. So I'm warning people right now, a couple things about this. When this movie comes out, a lot of people are going to accuse Denis Villeneuve of ripping off Revenge of the Sith, because effectively Paul's journey is he's trying to undo his fate. He can see the future. He's trying to undo it. He's trying to make events that he foresees. Can he make those things not happen? That's a struggle. I do like Robert. So I'm just telling you, be prepared for that. I think he's also retconning a little bit the way that Dune Part 2 ended with Chani going off into the desert. That's not how Dune ends. The book ends. And we've also got some things here. Also, that's her. She's holding her knife. That blue, it's like supposed to indicate she's pregnant. She's with child. Other things here I want to point out. I love Robert Pattinson here. It looks like he's channeling Sting from David Lynch's Dune just a little bit. And of course, Duncan Idaho is back. You'll find
what's
out.
the deal with that? Why are they bringing back a dead character? Can't they come up with something more original?
Look, it's
I know.
not. I'll just say this: it's not Duncan, Idaho. It's something else. Okay,
Yeah, it's Duncan, Omaha.
Sure, that's not Duncan, Idaho per se, and Duncan, Idaho is like in the next books, plays a big character. So look, I for one am really excited, but this is if you read Dune Messiah, I think this story will complete. I think the story of the movie will be a different thing than the story that's in the book. So if you've read Dune Messiah, there are going to be some changes. Alan, what do you think?
Yeah, so I've not read the books, but I have seen the sci-fi series, and I will say that my enjoyment of the sci-fi series came at Dune Messiah and Dune Children of Doom. Is that the
yes?
Dune?
It's really good.
Yeah, and not to spoil it, I'll just give you my general sense or my interpretation of Dune Messiah. But it was the idea that everyone thought Paul was the Messiah, and it was clear that Paul wasn't the Messiah.
Yeah,
and to me, that was the most interesting aspect of that third series was because it took a different direction than I expected the series to go. And it just really, you just saw this downfall that Paul was going through, realizing that, it's kind of like the life of Brian, where everyone thought Brian was the Messiah, but he wasn't.
right.
It was a real Messiah. And that's the weird analogy, but that's kind of what I took away from Dune Messiah.
Well, to tell you a little bit about the story, the inspirations for the story for Frank Herbert were he was a journalist and he studied like environments, ecology, but where the inspiration for the story of Dune came from, do you know what it was? I don't want to ruin it for you, but I'm going to tell you his inspiration was JFK. And the books are really a warning about charismatic leaders leading people to war. Frank Herbert preferred Nixon, who was an a-hole as a president, but he was very forthright. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
He did not like JFK. He was this good-looking, chiseled leader with a beautiful family, whatever, but he got America into Vietnam. Okay, so he didn't trust Kennedy because he would smile and then do bad things, and was, I'm saying what Frank Herbert said. These are not my opinions. Okay, I'm echoing what Herbert has said. His inspiration for Paul Atreides was JFK, a charismatic leader that gets us into that. Yeah. And it convinces people to do bad things. Yeah. The difference is, though, I am sympathetic towards Paul because I feel his fate is he can't undo it. Yeah. No matter trying to undo things. I see Paul Atreides. You're going to see this movie is less Star Wars. It's more Anakin's
Revenge of Skywalker's journey to the dark side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything you described there is exactly what excited me about watching Dune Messiah on the Sci-Fi Channel, because it felt like it was a Star Trek movie or a Star Trek episode, because it just had all these politics. It had elements of humanity and just humanity being tested, Again, if a movie makes you think long after it's over, it was a good movie.
Yeah, well, that was Dune the book. When I first read it at 14 years old, I was a big Star Wars fan, but this was like much more adult, type of sci-fi story.
Yeah.
And I related to that. The fact that it covered everything from religion, love, hierarchy, science, but used differently. It was different than any other sci-fi franchise. There's no aliens, no robots. Spaceships are not a really big part of it. It's just part of commerce of the galaxy. I love it. My most anticipated movie of the year. Can't wait.
Yep.
Let's go to comments, and then we have a very special interview that yeah. Oh, we have a very special. They're waiting in our digital green room. Thank you for our patience, Billy. We are going to get to you. So thank you so much. Let's talk to the people.
All right.
Here. Okay. Start with
Here we
Andrew
go.
Graham. Start with
Andrew
Soups.
Graham, good for five Filter memberships.
Thank you, Andrew. Check out some bonus video. Also, Chris Nolan. We saw Chris Nolan at an event. Oh, I saw him at an event. I got that video up there.
Jose Taco for 199. Zendaya is in 3 blockbusters this year. Crazy.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
I don't know if the second one's going to be a blockbuster though.
Yeah.
Albert Not a Retro for 10. Better story. Spidey fights Scorpion. MU gets hurt. Ned blames Spider-Man and develops a formula to become the Hobgoblin. Jacob Batalon would have been great in the gym and get fit. It'll be good for him anyways.
That would be a good storyline.
Albert Not a Retro for 5. Regarding Raimi's Spider-Man, the entire time I watched it in the theater, I kept wondering if he'd ever read a Spider-Man comic in his life.
Well, he has. Look at interviews with him.
The one A Train, remember for 12 months. Dune Part 3, The Odyssey, Project Hail Mary could be the best picture next year. Be one of those 3. Yeah, unfortunately, those are the 3 movies we'll be talking about in March next year.
Yeah. Will it be? Yeah. Will they be Best Picture nominees? I hope so.
Yeah, I think all 3 will. I don't know if they'll win.
We'll start from the top here with a few more comments.
Okay, fun with collecting. Oh my God, you were in the same room as Zendaya. Totally jelly. Yeah, she was 2 rows in front of us when we watched the.
We watched
the trailer.
The cast hadn't seen the trailer, so they sat to watch the trailer.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was fun. Watch the video on our channel.
All we needed was Sydney Sweeney, and it would have been the trifecta. Bill S. Preston Esquire. I like that Chani is smiling and not just scowling. Yeah, she has that kind of glow about her. Tony Elias, best trailer of 2026 by far, not even close. You're probably right. Yeah,
I can't wait to see it in the theater again tomorrow in front of Project Hail Mary.
I'll be honest, the first time a lot better than the second time. Patrick Lemaire, I don't think you can make an accurate Dune trilogy. You can't be that dark in a blockbuster.
I've always said, first of all, George R.R. Martin ripped off Dune for his Game of Thrones. I mean, Dune is Game of Thrones in space, interplanetary sci-fi. It's very similar. They're great houses. They all have different cultures, battling for the throne. But you're right. They will. I trust Denis. It's good. I feel it's going to go dark.
Mick Gore for 2. Chris, I'm feeling it
Is that
today.
me? Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And one last one here.
And from press end to start. Remember, for 32 months. Can you believe we've been doing this for over 32 months? Is it bad? I want to get into Dune now because Anya Taylor-Joy is in it now. I'd watch anything with her in it.
I think she's an amazing actress.
And she was pretty hot at the event too. Indy Shade for 2. Toby Spider-Man came off as someone on the spectrum. Again, there was no comparison for him. Now that you've had,
I think
other
they are
iterations.
different.
Yeah. Skulls on Say for 10. Regarding Spider-Man, I think we are getting the 6-arm saga. Chris, I produced Pursuit of the Truth with you back in the day. Love the channel. Keep rocking.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Pursuit of the Truth. Oh, wow.
No, I have no idea what that is.
What is that? I'm trying to remember. Was that an article? Pursuit of the Truth. I'm trying to remember.
It's probably a whole television series you did.
Should I look on my IMDb? I did a lot of bad TV back in the day. I'm not saying it's bad. Skulls on says, please remind me what that is. And I feel terrible I don't remember. So thank you for that. Thank you. Very generous. Hey, Alan.
Hey.
We like to interview filmmakers, bring them on the show, and talk about their movies. Well, guess what? There's a big event that's coming up. The movie Rad That's right. The movie Rad from the 80s is being re-released in theaters, and we've got some of the people involved with Rad here to talk to us today. We're going to watch the trailer to jog your memory. Let's bring them on the show right now. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Billy Henrickle, Eddie Fiola, and who else is in the background? Should I bring on 29842?
Is that the publicist or is that
who is that? Should we bring him on? All right, here we go.
Oh, it's Bill.
How you guys doing?
How's it going?
Okay, we usually, when we interview filmmakers, we bring one person on the show. We've got you all here to talk about Rad. First of all, tell us about Rad in the 80s. Tell us about this movie and how it's got a cult following.
Well, it kind of displayed BMX at its pinnacle when it was actually peaking, probably in the 80s. And the greatest action director of our time back in the day was a guy named Hal Needham. And he decided to turn the camera not on cars or horses as he usually did, but on teenagers on bicycles. And that's where Ed and his gang came along and really helped revolutionize the sport. It's the first time we saw a backflip on film. And for a lot of kids, it's the first time they saw these skate park tricks. And it was a game changer for a lot of folks.
Honestly, I never saw this film back in the day, but having seen it's like if I don't know, I just was not into that stuff, but it's such an 80s movie. Seeing this, it's like, why don't they make movies like this anymore?
It's a different atmosphere, and now we're in the Marvel era of filmmaking, and different. That's kind of what's for dinner. I plan on making more BMX movies, but I think there's room for it all.
Well, it's getting a theatrical re-release on the 40th anniversary. I want to let people know March 22nd and 24th. It's one of those Fathom Events things that you got to see. I've got the trailer all queued up. Let's watch it together, actually. And I want to make sure people are reminded. Okay, here we go. I'm going to bring it up on screen. Bring it up on screen right now. Let's check it out. Here we go. Ready?
When I was 4 years old, and the first time my dad let go of that bike, it's like a whole new life. All of a sudden, it's like I was in control.
We're here for the biggest and most important bicycle motocross event ever held.
They say this guy Bart Taylor's gonna walk hell track.
Big time.
You think your brother's so cool. He's nothing next to Bart Taylor. I'm gonna kick him.
It's gonna take a radical miracle to beat this guy. Dad always told me, when your gut talks to you, you listen.
I've never seen such raw determination and talent in one kid.
So why do they not make movies like this anymore? I mean, that is such a it's got everything of the 80s. You've got sexy girls, you've got guys doing stunts and whatnot. Tell us more about are we having some problems? Someone's having some problem. I'm sorry, I'm going to take you off screen for the moment here. But tell us what went into the making of the original movie.
The original movie, back in the day, like Bill had said, it was on top. It was the pinnacle of our sport. But it hadn't been filmed yet. We've had magazines, and kids would take these magazines and they'd tear pictures out and stick them on their wall. That was our posters, and that's what we looked up to every day. And then all of a sudden, it started to it got bigger, and commercials, TV commercials, Foot Locker, Mountain Dew, Del Monte, a bunch of these commercials had BMX in it. And then this director, producer, screenwriter saw some kids on a BMX bike and doing tricks that they thought this was the next best thing. So they made a script, and this is where we're at 40 years later.
I mean, the spirit of this movie reminds me of films from that era. Karate Kid, Breaking Away, like all those classic 80s, the story doesn't have to be too complicated,
No,
There's
good guy, bad guy.
Simple.
Yeah,
Keep it simple. And I feel like you don't get...
Guy gets the girl back, but guy loses girl.
Yes. Well, I'm just, it's so heartwarming, and I can't wait to see it on the big screen. So shout out to Fathom Events. We talk about a lot of Fathom event movies on here, because I do think something is missing in terms of the movies that make it to theaters these days, the current movies. And that's why so many classic films are coming back and are a big part of the box office.
Right. I mean, we're at the theater that I'm going to. It's sold out. As a matter of fact, they had to make another time that they're going to show another movie. I think a 5:15 showing of it, because it was sold out. So yeah, more and more people, I think that are seeing it, or it's bringing back their youth, when they were kids. They remember riding their bikes and having their freedom and getting away, and that's what it was for me, is that my bike was my freedom. And like in the 80s, our parents had no idea where we were when we were riding. I mean, like, we were 30 miles away, riding in a ditch, jumping, probably got knocked out and didn't remember it. So
just be home for when the streetlights come on.
Made it home when the streetlights were on.
That was the era, and I feel so glad I grew up in the 70s and 80s. Neighborhoods were fun. Kids could walk unattended. Young kids could just walk in a neighborhood, and there was a trust factor, right? And that you could just live your life free, and that was it. I grew up at when it gets dark, come home. Otherwise, go out and play.
Right.
That doesn't
our parents
exist.
didn't let us. Our parents didn't let us in the house. Our parents said, "Go outside and play."
Go
And
outside.
if we got thirsty, I said this in a couple of the other interviews. When we got thirsty, we went to anybody's house and pulled out their hose and drank out of it.
Yes.
And we weren't afraid to get shot. So
No, and now you see kids, you hear stories about kids walking alone in neighborhoods, and the parents get reported for not being responsible. Like, I don't know, it was a different time. Hey, we have over 1,000 people watching live. We have a ton of questions from our audience.
Great.
Can we go to those questions. Here we go. Right here.
All right, Robot Dues for 5. I loved Rad growing up. Funnily enough, I recently rewatched the riff tracks of it. Have you seen the riff tracks of?
I have, and what's funny is that we make more fun of it than the riff tracks guys did. So it was, if you sitting in a theater with myself and a couple of other guys, you're gonna see some good stuff.
Oh, that's great. A lot of comments and questions.
All right. From Fresh Snow, BMX bikes in the 80s were rad. They could make a comeback. It's not a whole lot different nowadays. Doom Lemons, I had rad on VHS.
Well, with that being said, VHS of rad was never sold. So the only time you had it back in the day is if you never returned it. So that was, yeah.
Oh! And by the way, the version that will be re-released in theaters is restored, and it's 4K.
That's right.
Yeah, 100%. And people who are really into rad and want to make replica bikes and things like that, when they re-released it, they're going, wait, I never saw that before. I could see that. Though they can identify the bikes and the cars and the stuff, and so it was way better for the collectors.
Did it ever go back to the theaters after its initial run, or like for?
No.
So it was almost impossible to see it on screen.
Right.
We've got a lot of comments and questions, so let's get as many as we can get to.
Okay, Uncle Jimmy Jam. I've easily seen Rad in the triple digits.
Yep.
Fun with collecting. I have my 4K Steelbook of Rad. Great fun movie. Need you guys to sign it.
Will you be doing any signings like at theaters?
Yeah, so I'll be at the Temecula Theater in California, and we sold out. We also have some posters that we made especially for that first showing. We didn't know they were going to make a second showing because we didn't know it was going to get sold out. So I don't know about the second half of the people, but yeah, I'll be there. Mike Miranda will be there. Brian Blythe will be there, all at the Temecula showing.
For both screenings?
Yes.
Okay. There you go. Peter Yannick, question to the guests. How many bikes do you own?
Well, you got a lot in your background.
I see 3 there right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There's a couple up on the bikes. I was sponsored by GT, and GT literally gave me bikes left and right only because they wanted me to have a bike that looked new. They wanted the kids to see a brand new bike. So if it had a scratch, if it had a ding, if it had dirt on it, they just gave me a new bike every single time. So my neighbors had bikes, my cousins had bikes, everybody had bikes around me because I was always getting a new one. So that means I didn't need to save a whole lot. The bikes you're seeing now are actually my bikes that I've built, and they're the EF former pros.
To answer your question, he has about 30 bikes in that garage.
Oh my God. Sorry, some of these questions are
long.
long.
I have 2 from Rad. The red and the blue. If
That's
you could
great.
see.
Wait, let me put you full screen there. There we go.
Can you see them? So one I'm still restoring. It doesn't have handlebars, but that's Eddie's poster back there, and that's the bike Crew Jones and Eddie rode as the stunt guy in Rad. Not the actual one. That was mine as a kid. I actually had it in 1985 before the movie came out.
Yeah, a lot more questions here.
ADL's 24. The film was shot in around the Calgary area. What was it like shooting Rad up there? And can you share any memories of your time in the city? What was the BMX culture like in Calgary at the time?
Well, what the weird part is that I've never been to Canada at that point in time, and I didn't know about these things, and I don't know what they're called, but one day it'd be 80 degrees outside, and the very next day it would be snowing, which was weird. And that played a hard part on filming because one day, again, 80 degrees, the next day it's snowing. The ground is wet, and we had to have helicopters come in and dry off the track at one point in time.
So many our audience. I didn't tell. I don't know if I mentioned you were going to be on today, but they're loving this.
All right, Robo-Doos. It resonated with young boys. Everyone had a bike and liked to go on an adventure. Even the main rival was a good dude at the end.
That's great. Yeah. Thanks, Robo-Doos.
We don't do that anymore. That's the problem. It's Kitty. Question for the guests. How long did it take to film this movie?
About 6 weeks. We spent 6 weeks in Canada.
And last question here.
And ADL is, what was like working with the great Ray Walston during the film? And was there any intimidation with him as he had a lot of the time recently started in Fast Times at Ridgemont High as the mean Mr. Hand?
Yeah, at this point in time, I was just one of the guys that rode bikes and did the stunts. And we hung out with all the other BMX guys. So the actors, that would have been Bill Allen, that would have hung out with him. And, to me, he was a nice guy. So I just remember him in My Favorite Martian. So,
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah. My Favorite Martian. I'm sure they're doing a reboot at some point. And what can you tell? The documentary, is that part of the Fathom Events thing, or tell me about that, Billy?
So basically the documentary is something Eddie and I worked on a long time. I wrote his book about 6 years ago, and I said, your story is just so visual. We can't really tell your story in a book. We did the best we could. So we got some funding, and I produced and directed his documentary. And then we were trying to get the rights to use rad clips in this documentary, and we finally got them from the family. And in return, we gave them, of course, the rights to use some of the documentary. So there'll be a 23-minute portion of Eddie's feature film playing after Rad.
Oh, that's great.
And then the full movie will be on Amazon April 7th.
Great. Okay, so it's in theaters March 20th. Is it
22nd and 24th?
22nd and
Tuesday.
24th
Mhm.
as a Fathom Events. We love them. I love seeing classic movies on the big screen. So support them. And thank you guys for coming to talk to us today. Congrats on the film. And I just, I love these films making a comeback. Just like we were talking about. The idea of having neighborhoods you could just bike around in, what that doesn't, I don't believe that exists in America anymore.
No.
I feel
That
like
used to be every neighborhood.
that was every neighborhood. Every
Do you guys
neighborhood
remember?
was-
Do you guys remember playing Ditch 'em or hide and go seek or kick
Yeah.
the can?
all of those games.
You're hiding inside their yards. You're under their cars, and you would get so. The police would be called every 20 seconds.
We did. I look back on like the stuff we got, the trouble we got in. It was kind of It was kind of funny, you know. We're not exactly career criminals, just mischief.
That's right.
At the time, you know. I grew up in Michigan. We threw snowballs at cop cars. That was a bad, and then would run away. Yes, I did that. So, hey, Eddie, Billy, thanks for spending time with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Congrats on the re-release. Have fun at that Temecula screening.
Oh, it's going to be a great time. Thank you so much for having us online.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate
Great.
it.
Take care. That was awesome. This guy's
man.
great.
If
These
my
guys
parents
are
knew
great.
what I was doing after school every day.
Good times. Hey, we have we have some chat comments and questions. A few more news stories I think worth going over. Damon Lindelof's Lantern comments draws criticism. Have you heard about this, Alan?
I know what he said. I don't know about the criticism.
Well, he talked. You have the notes for this. He talked about lanterns. He made this kind of. Well, I want to just play it for you.
Yeah.
Would you like to see the comment?
Yeah, let's see it.
He was asked. Now, by the way, this was on a comedy podcast. Let's hear what Damon Lindelof has to say. He's wearing a green shirt, by the way. Let's see what he has to say.
So you just announced a Green Lantern show. It's called Lanterns because we all agreed that the green was stupid. So
Right.
So now it's just lanterns.
So, Green Lantern, the lantern. So you can make anything you can imagine.
If you have this magical ring,
Right.
Yes.
And the fights are still close.
Yeah.
So he made those comments about, and then I don't like this whole trend of like, well, let's not call him Green Arrow. How about Arrow? Let's not say, it's like they're not happy. It's like they have to make it sound much more serious than just leaning into the comic book Green Arrow or Green Lantern. So let's see.
That's like saying Batman. I mean, is he really a bat? Let's just call him man.
Man, not Batman, just man.
Man.
So Grant Morrison had some comments. This is from DCU Updates. Can you read this, Alan? This is his comments. Grant Morrison writes Green Lantern.
All right. Well, Damon Lindelof's comment notwithstanding, the green in Green Lanterns, green is not stupid. Why does a writer attach himself to this kind of narrative if he thinks it's fundamentally stupid? You don't hand CSI scripts to patronizing writers who condemn forensic experts and their stupid haircuts, or their haircuts as stupid. So why hire people who are ashamed and in denial about the comic book material they've been assigned to develop? Why don't they turn down jobs they're not suited for? It's not like he needs the money, and Lindelof has proven he can come up with his own ideas. What is this jockish dismissal of superhero convention intended to prove anyways? Does Lindelof imagine it makes him seem less nerdy? It's a bit too late for that. So what's it all about? The only people who give a fuck about the Lanterns TV series are Green Lantern fans. Why alienate them at the start? That feels more that feels more like stupid. Green Lanterns is a much more evocative and dramatic title than Lanterns. Just as Raise the Red Lantern is a better movie than Raise the Lantern. And anyone who can't grasp why this is why that is shouldn't be anywhere near a superhero story. The show might even be good, but how much better could this stuff be if the studios were willing to hire the right people for the job instead of phoning their embarrassed friends to water the source material down? Hollywood will die of insularity and inbreeding.
And here's, of course, a photo of Grant Morrison.
Levitating.
He looks like Lex Luthor. and this is still from the show where, I mean, Green Lanterns, more than anything, is a cosmic story. Cosmic cops, space cops, effectively, with a magic ring where you can use your sheer will. It can do anything you imagine, right? So, and it's two guys driving around in a car in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So
two cops, basically.
Two cops, I guess. Well, then Damon Lindelof responded with an apology, which I think is worth reading. Alan, here we go.
All right. Damon Lindelof reacts to Grant Morrison. So I think you have to
wait. Okay.
Click the picture.
I'll click the picture.
Okay, there we go.
There he is. And here.
All right. So this is from Damon Lindelof's Instagram account.
And we should describe this for people listening. And you see Damon Lindelof, a very old photo. Looks like he may be a kid in this. Like
no, this is a lost.
Is that from Lost?
Thing.
And he's wearing
Matthew Fox and Evangeline Lilly in there.
Yeah, there you go. Wearing a T-shirt that's a Green Lantern shirt.
Okay, so he says, I have upset Grant Morrison, which means I have pissed off most of the brilliant British/Scottish comic writers that I grew up idolizing. To quote the bard Otis Redding, this is nobody's fault. Click the arrow. Click the arrow. Go to the next image.
I'm going to go to the next one.
Yeah. Let's see. It's nobody's fault but mine. I made a dumb joke on a comedy podcast. I'm not going to bob and weave about context. The joke was dumb. The fandom is not. I owe them an explanation and a genuine reflection of my actual feelings. The very first time I appeared at a Comic-Con panel was for the Lost pilot back in the summer of 2004. I wore my favorite t-shirt as I had grown out of my favorite underoos, those being the uniform of Hal Jordan, Green Lantern of Sector 2814. For a quiet, uncoordinated kid, there was nothing cooler than a hero whose superpower was his imagination. And green is not stupid. It is my lifelong favorite color, and I have a questionnaire that I filled out in the 3rd grade to prove green is fucking awesome. More importantly, it would be a betrayal to everyone I work for, and alongside to say anything other than I was absolutely honored to be a part of the team that manifested the incredible construct that is Lanterns. Because it was. I was sloppy and careless with my words. Ironic considering I care so much about Hal, John, and the entire Corps. I can and will do better to be worthy of the oath. Until then, I'll let the show speak for itself, and I can't wait for you to all hear what it has to say.
Well, I think ultimately we need to see the show. I would even, it's like, fine. He was on a comedy podcast. It was in front of an audience too. He's trying to play to the crowd.
Yeah.
But I think that the choice, it doesn't deflect from the choice. They made a choice to call the show Lanterns rather than Green Lantern. Just call the show Green Lantern. Why make it complicated? What do you think, Alan?
Yeah. I mean, I'll go back to the trailer for Lanterns. Why can't you just show us the Green Lanterns at work? Why can't you show us the ring at work? These are the criticisms I had of Superman. because they put out all these trailers and teasers. Why can't you just show us Superman doing Superman things and get us excited about your series that way? Instead, you set up this kind of cop buddy television show who goes into a town to fight white supremacy. I'm not sure. I've never read Green Lantern, but I'm not sure what issues those were and why people were excited about that.
Well, my final thought on this, for being a writer, that's not a very well-written apology. He could have said something funny and self-deprecating. I also feel like when people have a really long apology, I'm already suspicious. If someone's apologizing and it's really long, and they have a long explanation, life, I think, can be very simple. Okay. So the longer this is, the more guilty I think he is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, the trailer doesn't speak to what he was saying.
Let's go to some comments here. Then we have something fun to end the show on.
Oh, that wasn't fun.
Yeah, that wasn't fun at all.
Peter Yannick for 10. Kilmer's family will happily cash in on Val's legacy. Look what happened to Tolkien.
It's very sad, but Peter, you're right. That is very sad. Oh man. Thank you for the generous.
Jim T. Lanterns is the teen drama in Dana Point.
Nice Dana Point reference.
Yes, you know Dana Point.
I do.
Killer Mike G. Stop hiring Nepo babies. See a Nepo baby?
I'm not sure.
Darth Vengeance. JJ didn't like Star Trek, and he did that same thing.
They're just going to call it Trek.
Yeah. Lenny Wright. Next Spider-Man, he fights Goblin. Doesn't matter which one.
Yeah, just get Goblin in there.
Lord Thoth, as a massive Green Lantern fan, F them both. They are both idiots. Well, Grant Morrison and Damon Lindelof?
Thank you, Lord Thoth.
All right. Galaxy Red, not only that, if Damon loves green so much, why is the Green Lantern uniform not green in the fucking closet in the teaser? God damn it.
Exactly. Maybe it needs to go to the dry cleaner. Or maybe once it's on and activated, it looks
or out in the sunlight, and maybe it looks green.
So
Christopher Moonlight Productions. Lindelof is backpedaling. He is not a fan. He is a comic book store guy who want to Alan Moore and pretend he's not a nerd by deconstructing everything. Nothing he does is in good faith. Yeah. The Immortal Remus. Damon Lindelof had an opportunity to educate the audience on stage, which might have piqued their interest into reading Green Lantern comics. Yeah, that would have been a good selling point for your series.
I'm fine with the joke, and then maybe follow that up with why Green Lantern is significant. He didn't do that. And I don't know. It just... I think the evidence is all we need. Also, by the way, the title of the show being Lantern might not have been his choice. It might have been presented to him. We don't know. We don't know. So, hey, one last fun thing today. We are reviewing Project Hail Mary on Friday. Most of you will have had a chance to see it. It opens tomorrow. I'm going to see it again. I'm very excited to see the movie. The first thing I thought when I saw the film, I want to see it again. So I am seeing it again in IMAX, and we've seen popcorn buckets, lots of fun promotion. Well, this promotion is one of the, I really love this. I'm going to share this with you, Alan. I love when a star is so excited for their project, they have fun with it. Here is Ryan Gosling. I'm just going to let this play, and let's see this.
This is my Hail Mary attempt to fix my LaLa hand, and my buddy Rocky's gonna help me. You ready? Okay. Ready?
3, 2, 1, go!
How's my hand?
It's good.
But it's
bomb.
Now look. That's great. So he did a little parody
my Hail Mary,
of La La Land, which I really love that film. La La Land was robbed, in my opinion. But that was fun. And you could see how the Rocky puppet, they're kind of underneath it, move the way they move it. I don't know. Make of that what you will. It's going to be fun. I can't wait for other people to see the movie so we can discuss all of it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it again with a crowd of people.
Yeah.
Some have read the book, some have not. I think I'm curious to talk to someone who never read the book and with their genuine reaction.
Yeah. I think I know a person like that. But I think suffice to say, we would recommend that you see Project Hail Mary tomorrow so we can talk about it on Friday.
And then we will discuss it. We'll when we get into spoilers, we'll let you know. We'll let you know. Couple last minute comments here as we wrap up a little early today. Why? Because last night was long and there was a lot of fun to be had. And maybe I'll wear a green shirt. I'm going to wear a green shirt tomorrow or on Friday. I'll it'll be a secret. It'll be a secret. I'm gonna hide that.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know why we're doing that.
All right.
Yeah, Jean Hu gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean Hu. Appreciate that.
Fun with collecting a $100,000 bet that Rocky will be in the front row of the Oscars like Grogu was next year.
And thank you to our this came in last minute. Sorry.
And from Indie Shade for 2, Lindelof, Shat Up, Watchmen, Lanterns will be the same.
Yep. And thank you to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, ADLS24, Ololique, Tomic Lori, Glenuccio, our producers. Appreciate all of you. And last minute coming in.
Oh, yes. From Andrew Cram for 10. Thank you. Saw it. Hail Mary Monday it was the best thing I'd seen a long time.
It's going to get people out to the theater. Thank you, Andrew.
If you could see it in IMAX, I would definitely suggest doing that. I saw it at the Irvine Spectrum, which is the largest screen in Orange County. And it did not disappoint on that massive screen. And it's a real IMAX screen too.
I, for one, cannot wait to see it in IMAX. I saw it, just not in IMAX. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
We're going to see movies. We've also got Ready or Not 2. We've got other films to review. We may have an interview on Friday. I'm working on that. And Alan, what are you up to tonight?
What am I up to tonight? I don't know yet. Oh, I think it's catching up on the website, hopefully.
Yes, I have to apologize to our audience, our website. We're actually moving the entire site to a new server. The website has been down off and on and off as we do that.
And I blame progressives for that. Okay.
The site will be solid come tomorrow. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Filmmakers who sent us movies for review. A lot of the writers from Film Threat, very frustrated. I get it. I get that you're frustrated. Gonna be fine come tomorrow. We do maintenance about once a year, but the site had really been not many problems. We relaunched in 2017 in a new format. We've cleaned it up, and this is kind of a major overhaul for the website.
Yeah, let's put it this way: we're pissing off the woke, and this is what we get for it.
Are we?
I hope we are. I hope we are.
Okay. All right. That's it for us. Can't wait for Friday to talk to you, Alan.
Let's get out of here.